I get asked about guitar gear a lot on this channel, and a large portion of the comments that I receive are from beginners. And one of the most common questions that I get is, what is the best beginner amplifier for guitar players? Before we get into it, this video is not sponsored in any way, so I will leave product links all over this video, like down in the description, or you might see a pop-up if you're on a mobile device. And if you choose to purchase any of the things I discuss in this video and you use those links, it would greatly help me and the channel out and support what I do here, so I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. The first honorable mention I want to give in this video for a beginner guitar amplifier is this guy right here, the mini amps. Now, it doesn't have to be specifically this mini amp. There are a few different variations. There's a Friedman, there's a Diesel, and there's also a Soldano, as well as this Bogner. But these are really, really great for the money. These retail for $250. They are on sale right now through Sweetwater. I will leave an affiliate link for that down in the description below. The reason that I really like these as beginner amplifiers, first and foremost, is they just look really cool. They look a lot like their much more expensive amplifier counterparts, and that for me is like a big deal because it's very inspiring and makes me want to play guitar more. And I know that might be a little superficial, but I think the aesthetic of your gear is kind of important. The other things I like about these little mini amplifiers are they're pretty decently loud for how big they are. They sound pretty good. They have an effects loop as well, which is really, really nice, especially if you just want to use this as like a power amp into a cabinet. Now, on the downside, for $250, there's no built-in effects or anything like that, and you do have to purchase a speaker cabinet to actually be able to play any sounds through it. This does not come with any sort of built-in speaker or anything. So that's the downside of these mini amplifiers, but again, I think the thing that they have going for them is not only do they sound good, but they look really cool too. Now, honorable mention number 2 is this guy right here. This is the 𝗬𝗡𝗔𝗡𝗏 iconic 1x10. Now, these are quite a bit more expensive. They retail for $650, but what's really cool about something like this is it's a whole self-contained thing. You have your speaker included in the amplifier. The amplifier is tube powered as opposed to solid state powered. And again, if you're a beginner and you're not sure what that means, this amplifier is 15 watts as opposed to the one that I just showed you, which is 30 watts. However, this is tube powered and it is much louder. Now, you don't need to use the speaker that's built into this. It actually does have speaker outputs on the back, so you could plug this into like a 4x12 cabinet like this down the line if you wanted to. I just think the thing that's nice about combo amps in general is it's an all-in-one sort of thing. You could take this, it is plenty loud to keep up with the drummer, and it does have some expandability for the future if you wanted to plug into a cabinet or something like this. Now, the downside of something like this is for not much more money, you could get the full-size 𝗬𝗡𝗏5150 iconic head. It has more features, including like a built-in noise gate, but you would have to purchase a speaker cabinet like this one separately. Now, it doesn't have to be necessarily this combo amp. Any combo amp will have the sort of same utilitarianness of this setup where you could just pick it up and play it. However, they all vary in their feature sets and their total output volume. So what do I think is the absolute best beginner guitar amplifier? Let me show you. It's this right here. This is a Boss Katana MK2 head. It is 100 watts. It has built-in speakers. It is small enough to be portable and compact. It has built-in effects. There's just a ton of features. Let's open it up and I can show you the features and explain why I think that this is the best beginner guitar amplifier. This is actually the 3rd Boss Katana head that I've owned, and I purchased all of these myself. Now, at the time of making this video, I purchased this for $300 on Amazon, which is an insane deal if you think about all of the things that this does. Man. So here it is, and while it is a little bit heavy, for the size of this thing, it has a tremendous amount of volume output. Let me show you some of the features here. On the back of the unit, we have an effects loop. There is a stereo expand switch for the built-in speakers. We have a direct line output if we wanted to use this directly into another power amp or into a mixing console or something like that. We have a power amp input if we wanted to use another preamp pedal or a multi-effects unit or something like that and use this to power a cabinet. We have the USB port for connecting to the computer and updating the software, as well as using the software editor. We have an 1/8" auxiliary input if we want to play some music or something through this. We have a few different foot switch control options as well as an expression pedal input. And then we have a headphones and recording output, which is going to have speaker simulation. So if you want to plug in your headphones for silent practice, you can do that, or you can plug it directly into an audio interface for silent recording as well. Now, if you look at the knobs on the panel of this unit, we have 4 different amplifier types, meaning we have 4 different distinct sort of amplifier sounds, and then we have a variation switch as well for each one of those amplifiers. So there's just quite a few different sounds that this thing will make. We have our equalizer controls, and then we have our effects section. We have mod effects, we have delay effects, we have reverb in it, and then our presence and our master over here for the power section. We have the tone setting switches so we can save our presets to memory. We have power control, so if we want to bump this down to 1/2 watt, so that way we can play it quietly but still have like a good big sound. You can do that as well. So for $300, there is quite a bit packed into this amplifier. Now I'm going to plug this in and demo it here in just a minute, but I just wanted to emphasize how much is really in this amplifier for $300. I've given this video quite a bit of thought because I get this question a lot from beginning guitar players, and understandably, because it can be very confusing on like what gear you should buy, what is the best bang for your buck. But I think what this offers for $300 and what it does and how long this will last you on your guitar playing journey are all big factors, because I think that you could get this as a beginner and you can really use this for the rest of your guitar playing career if you wanted to, but don't take my word for it. Let's plug it in and I'll show you what it does. Okay, I'm plugged into the 𝗦𝗐𝗰𝗶 Katana MK2 head. Like I mentioned earlier, this has built-in speakers. I have one of those speakers mic'd up with this microphone here. I'm not doing any sort of post-processing in any way. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what the built-in speakers are capable of. Then we will plug this into a cabinet. I'll flip it so that you can actually see the controls on the top of the unit while I demonstrate everything. But just right in the beginning here, I just wanted to mic up this speaker so that way like you can actually hear that this does have built-in speakers and it's pretty decent. I have the volume about halfway up. I am on the crunch setting. Here's what it sounds like. Now, it is not the most loud thing in this world. I don't think that this would keep up like in a band rehearsal situation with the drummer. I don't think it's really meant to do that in this way. I think that this is just for like jamming in your bedroom or whatever. And for that, it is plenty loud and I think it sounds really decent. Okay, let me plug this into this 4x12 cabinet, and that way I can demonstrate it the way that I would personally use it, running it as like just a head powering a cabinet. Let's do it. Woo, that is loud, holy shit. Okay, so this is significantly louder. Again, this is a 100-watt head. Now, this is 100 solid-state watts. It's not tube. But when using it in this configuration through a 4x12 cabinet, it is more than loud enough for a band rehearsal, for example. So if you're looking for something that has that flexibility that you can take it into a band rehearsal sort of situation, this will definitely do that. And even if you are a beginner and you're not necessarily planning on doing that in the future, I would suggest planning for it, because playing music with other people is like one of the best parts of playing music, you know? So definitely worth it, in my opinion. I forgot there's an acoustic setting on here as well. So not only do we have the 4 different amp sort of sounds, we also have an acoustic setting. So it sounds really, really nice. Let's go to a clean setting here and I can show you some of the effects. So clean with our variation on. Let's turn the variation off. Let's turn the gain down, volume up. So on the clean channel, let's just jump straight over the effects so I can show you what kind of effects are included in this. Now, I will say that you have more versatility with all of these options if you use the editing software. These knobs are concentric, meaning that you have actual 2 knobs built into 1 knob position. So this one will adjust your boost. And if you click this little light here, it's also a button, and you have the option of 3 different boost types. We're gonna leave that off for now. You also have this knob controls your mod, so and we can switch those mod types. So you can hear we have different courses and flangers in there. Now over here, we have an open effects slot. Again, you can assign these and have more flexibility with these over the software, but this is just what we have built in. We have like sort of a tremolo effect on the green, on the red. We have like an auto wah, and then the orange is an octaver. And this is actually one of the best pitch shifters or octavers I've ever tried. We'll come back to that with some distortion later. Let's go through our delays. The built-in effects sound really, really great. Let's turn some reverb on. Now on the reverb knob, we only have one knob. We don't have the concentric knobs here, but that's okay. Go to the orange. Let's turn them off for now and let's go through some of the high gain tones and then we'll look at some of the other features on the amp as well. Like I showed earlier, this is a crunch tone. With the variation. Here's the lead channel. Let's listen to the variation of that. And of course, for all you high gain enthusiasts, we can use a boost on this. Let's try some of these different cabinet modes here. Let's go with the vintage resonance. The deep resonance. Back to modern. Now we do have these power controls as well. So without changing the volumes or anything, let me show you what this does. If we go down to 50 watts, that's half the output power. Much easier to get that volume level under control, you know, if we wanted to. Now we also have half a watt. It just gives you so much more versatility when you're trying to control the level of the output volume instead of sitting here and trying to like fine-tune the volume knob. And of course, we could put this on standby mode, which will enable us to still use like the headphone and the emulated line outputs if we wanted to. So there's actually no sound coming out of the built-in speakers or the cabinet or anything like that, but if we were using headphones right now, we could still hear ourselves playing. Okay, let's go to a different setting here. Let's go to this brown setting. So like you can see, there's a bunch of stuff you can do with the front panel, but if you can hear how much noise there is right now, the only way to access some of the features is with the Boss Tone Studio by connecting it to a computer. So let's do that now. Okay, so if you really want to take full advantage of the Katana MK2, you really need to use the software editor, which is why I have my laptop here. So we have it open up here, and I just want to preface this by saying the Boss Katana MK2 tones are like not my favorite tones. I think they are totally usable. I think they are really great for what they offer, but you know, I just wish they had a little bit more tweakability, and that's where the software editor comes in. You'll notice we have the brown channel selected with the variation switch on, and it is very noisy. If we want to get that noise under control, we're going to go down here to the noise suppressor, and we're going to turn this on. And like you can hear, that made this amp totally silent. Now while I'm playing, you can hear it cutting down on my noise. It's not making it all the way silent, but we can adjust that here with the threshold if we want. But it is a smart noise reducer, meaning that it's going to track the notes that I'm playing and it's not going to cut things off. So it's not cutting those notes off as they sort of fade out. It is a very, very good noise reducer in my opinion. And it definitely gets that noise under control, but you can't access it through the front panel. You have to do it through the software, which is a little bit of a downside, but again, it's amazing that it has all of these features just built into it. Let's adjust the tone here a little bit, and I'll show you some more tweaks that you can do with the software editor. Let's go to the green mode here, and let's select our booster. You can see we can select the different booster type. Now, I want an overdrive. I do not want a blues driver, and I want to turn the drive all the way down, and I want the effect level to be all the way up. Let's hear what that does. Definitely more of a boosted sound versus just having like a drive pedal in front of the amplifier. Okay, now you notice all the way over here on the right, we have this contour knob. Now we can actually change the contour. Type on the amplifier, which will change the EQ a little bit, and I really like this Contour 1 knob. Again, we don't have this through the front panel of the amplifier. Now, we can also go to this effects button over here. It will give us like a quick overview of all the different effects and all of the different button assignments we have if we wanted to adjust those and save them. We can also go into this chain here, and you can see we can adjust the chain of the effects and the amplifier, which is really, really cool. Basically, if we wanted to have like pre-effects here, so the way we have this set up right now is we have our booster and our mod and our effects in front of the amplifier and the equalizer, and then we have our delay 2 and our reverb in the post, like in the effects loop of the amplifier, which is the way that I would normally have this set up. But if we wanted to change that, if we wanted the mod after the amplifier, for example, we can select that here. And then when you have everything set up the way that you want it, you can actually just go and you can save this. If we click right here to the amplifier and we change it, let's say we want to make this channel 1, we can write that to the amplifier, and now that is our channel 1 tone. Kick-ass, dude. I just think that for everything you get with this amplifier for $300, the amount of different applications you can use this in as your guitar playing journey progresses, it is the best beginner guitar amplifier, in my opinion. As I said earlier, if you use any of my affiliate links, you will be helping me continue to do what I do here on this channel, and you will have my eternal gratitude. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, remember what I said about the Octaver being the best Octaver I've ever heard? All right, man. What a bunch of fun.